All right, welcome everybody. Let's see, we have in attendance, let's go around, I guess, Kevin Malone, Trumbull Nature and Arts Center representative. I'm not sure what order we have here.
Richard
Anybody wants-
Post.
There you go, Richard, thanks.
Pam
You
Roman.
kind of,
Yeah, actually, April, your connection's bad. I don't know if you
I was gonna say,
heard that.
I didn't hear you very well, April.
April Lang, this is the best I got. Thank you, Trumbull Public Schools.
Something about a book in a school, and I think her name is April. Other than that,
That's what I got.
and Mary Isaac.
Laurie Jackson, community member.
At large, yeah. There's Ralph, I see Ralph's here, welcome. So we're gonna welcome guests, Cindy Katsky, Bill Chin, of course, as always, Janet Epstein and Ralph Sather. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, great, thanks, welcome, Ralph.
Thank you.
Couple pieces of business and then we'll get into some more discussions. Would anyone like to move to approve last month's minutes?
I moved to approve last month's minutes.
Thank you, Pam. And who would like to second?
April just
I'll
raised her hand.
second.
April seconding, thank you very much. All right, all in favor? Good, thank you. All right, so I just added actually the first topic on the agenda was municipal coordination, and since Ralph is here, that would fit right in with our desire to have more interaction, more connection with the Economic and Community Development Commission. So, Ralph, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself and how you found out about us and so forth?
Sure. My name's Ralph Sather. I've been a Trumbullite for 40 some odd years, live over on Canoe Brook Road. I've been a member of the Economic and Community Development Commission for over a decade, chairman for many of those years. And we meet monthly. We have a bunch of projects going. I can forward you, or you can get on the website, our minutes, which tells you what we're up to. Basically trying to support the business community in town and attract business to Trumbull and retain business. I'm taking Shelby Levino's place. He was our representative who stepped down. I haven't been sworn in yet, but I will be this week. And so you're kind enough to let me listen in, and I'll be Shelby's official replacement as soon as he resigns and I'm sworn in.
Sounds good, and that sounds like that'll happen probably before next meeting, so that'll be great.
Yeah, it should happen this week.
All
Since-
right.
Actually, Ralph, that means you need to have bad jokes because that's what Shelby was known for.
Yeah,
What's that?
Shelby was known for his really bad jokes.
Oh,
So
okay. All right,
lots of them, so
I'll try.
no, don't try too hard, thanks.
All right. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks. All right, thanks, Ralph. Yeah, and just, wherever, because we do talk about a lot of the stuff we're trying to do with the local businesses. So we're looking forward to how we can coordinate better with economic development.
Okay.
So that's great. Right. Let's see. Also on the municipal coordination front, we're looking to meet with George Estrada. I have not had a chance to prepare the document that I promised to do, but I will do that with regard to what the initiatives were, our sustainable initiatives and how they overlap with public works. So where are we as far as, I know George was out last week, so he's probably catching up. I know he's catching up on some stuff this week. Any plans do we have to try to, anything scheduled to try to meet with him? Anybody?
I was gonna be the point of contact, I believe, so I was just letting him get settled back in today and was gonna
Yeah.
reach out to get a few dates from him that I could share with the group, whoever would be attending. And also, we're still waiting for his final go-ahead on the glass and program, rolling out whatever information we have on that, as far as I know.
Okay.
And
So-
the last I heard, I think the thinking was that it would make sense to meet with both George and Dimitri at the same time.
Okay,
I think they were interested in doing that.
okay, sure. I'll
So
mention that.
if you send an email, would you copy me so I can, if you need me to follow through, I can help out with that. Sometimes
Sure.
things just get crazy and, if there's anything I can do to help.
Should I put Dimitri on the email as well then, or let George decide if he wants to do that?
I would put Dimitri on and maybe ask them
Okay.
both,
Okay,
and they'll let you know.
perfect.
Thank you.
Really quick, going back to Ralph's role here. Ralph, I know I mentioned at our last meeting that you joined on that I had put together a draft per Rena's request to kind of revamp the Business Resource Center page on the town website. I have that draft floating around, ready to go to Rena. I believe I sent her an earlier draft, but I fine-tuned it a little more. Did you get that email from me, or did you need me to resend that if you're interested in reviewing it as well?
Sure like to review it. Happy to do so. I don't remember getting it, but I've been traveling for a month, so could have gotten lost in hyperspace here or cyberspace.
Sure. And if it came from my personal email, maybe I'll send it from the sustainable Gmail account. That way it might be sure to come through to you, not to your junk.
Great.
Great, thank you.
Mari, just clarification, that's the business resource page on the town's website
Correct.
under economic development.
Yes, I think there might be, I forget how it's laid out now. I haven't looked at it in a couple weeks, but I believe there's like a whole business resource center, and then there was one section on energy, which was kind of a little skimpy, outdated. So I believe I kind of revamped the whole thing with some, broader scope of topics. So.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. Anything else under any other municipal issues that we want to talk about? I have listed here the Trumbull Library and the possible seed library. I don't know if we've gotten anywhere on that. Is there any
Yep,
movement on that?
yes.
Yes, Pam, yes.
Yes, Pam Roman,
Yeah.
Mary Ellen LeMay and I met with
Yes.
Amara at the library this past Friday. And we outlined some key points that we wanted to achieve. And we've decided that we're going to relaunch the pollinator pathway and along with the seed library initiative at the library sometime in either June or July. We had a date, but Amara already wrote back and said that date isn't going to work. So now we're just back at the drawing board to figure out when the presentation is going to be. As you'll remember, for those who were around then, we had a really robust attendance at the library just prior to the March shutdown in 2020. We had like 75 people in the room. It was a lot of good momentum. So we want to reconnect that and re-engage the community if we can. So that's happening. And then we've kind of steps to take after to build out the seed library with a possible actual launch for seeds for fall, because fall is a good time to plant some seeds. So it's happening, just nothing set for the event yet, but we'll keep you posted.
Okay, so the date is TBD at this point.
Yeah, there were a couple that we had thought it was going to be, I don't know, June 16th, and then Amara saw a different calendar and said it wasn't available. And what the presentation is going to be, and this is per Mel, part what she did before, and then part what I did for Aspetuck Land Trust about when I did the webinar for them. So it's kind of going to be about redoing your yard at your own home. So Mel and I need to work on that together.
All right, sounds good. All right, anything else along the lines of the municipal coordination? What he has, that's all I had on my agenda. I don't know if there's anything else
just have a
going
small
on.
one, just on, for the, with the senior center, Michelle is going to be putting out the link for the Recycle Wizard. So she's going to be putting that, we're able to get in just luckily today, to get into the newsletter for the coming months. So she's going to put that in and then look forward to at some point with, if the Sustainable Youth would like to do something, or our program for recycle. They're interested also in perhaps putting another Trex box there to collect the plastic. I said if the drivers were able to bring that as well, so we don't add another step to anybody's workload for Trex. But so that's good. So getting more of the senior, into that span of it. So that should be hopefully a good thing. And then we did get finally on HelpSee. So I don't know if that's so much municipal, but George was happy about that. And I did get the sign off from legal and from Maria. So HelpSee is going to start hopefully on Saturdays, where they will be collecting curbside, and they're going to be putting together more than Bay State. They want to go through and like add things to the website. They wanted the logo. They're very involved. So they really want to push it on their end. So hopefully that will be helpful. And so I don't know if we want to look to have them at some point come to any of the recycling events at the high school for, since it is one-stop shopping. So once it's out there and people are aware, that might be another drop, because they just collect. We don't have to do anything at all. No involvement on our end, no bins. It's just their truck would be there. So we can talk about that in the future, but so they'll start kicking that off, I believe, in June.
When is it? Late June?
Sometime in June. I'm not sure, beginning of June. They're very, as soon as I said, yes, we're ready to go, it's like immediately got an email. Can you send us this? We have this, so they seem really on top of it and definitely motivated to get moving. And we'll see how we go.
Do they take same stuff as at the other?
Same stuff, and a lot of towns, I did check with Bay State, a lot of towns do both, because Bay State does not provide curbside. And there are people that are interested that just don't get to the bins and just don't have time, or they have too many things, or they're cleaning out a house, or, there's a lot of things like that. And so both seem to be, they work successfully together. And then, as I said, this could be events. So at Hazardous Waste Day, same thing. Everybody's there. They're bringing all their stuff. You have a truck there. So they're more of, they do the curbside, but events. So they'll do those things in tandem. So hopefully, and that is Bay State said it's $100 a ton. This is $60 a ton. So a little less, but we still are making revenue off that. And that goes into our revenue account.
Sounds good.
Quick question, Mary. Do you know the frequency of the Bay State pickup? Because I went to Madison last week, and it's the second time now the bags were overflowing onto the ground.
Really?
Which
Okay.
is great, but I don't know if there's a way we can request that they patrol it. I don't know.
Yeah, they're supposed to pick up every Wednesday. And so whether that's good, because I just got the update for the last 3 months, and it was lighter than previously. So it might be that maybe all of a sudden people are doing the spring cleanup, because they are coming every Wednesday, but I'll shoot them. They're really good about if it's full, they'll get there, or adding a second bin. I don't think we're at the second bin phase, but let me check and see if they missed a pickup. So thank you.
It's good. I have going to waste reduction here. We just kind of talked to textiles as waste reduction, but also there was a tour at the Van Dyke recycling facility in Norwalk, and Mari was there, Brianna was there, I was there. Who else was there? Anybody else from our group make it?
Renata.
Was it right? So Mari, you
Renata.
sorry, what's that?
Renata was there.
Oh, Renata, yeah, Renata. She's an unofficial group member, but yeah, she was there too. And so you put together some information on that, Mari, but you want to just do a quick summary review?
Sure. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that item on the agenda, but sure. Yeah, so I sent out the PowerPoint that was shared, which I thought was really nice in that they provided a lot of data on all the different categories of waste and the commodity pricing and just the quantities of what, the different categories and which were the largest and the smallest collected. I think we were surprised that was it the plastics that were very low in terms of what actually gets turned in to the facilities. But basically just backtracking, Van Dyke Recycling Solutions manufactures all the equipment that goes all over the world for all of these waste management facilities. So they do recycling facilities, waste management, and then what do they call the all encompassing? It's all in one, which they're kind of piloting, I guess, where you can put your garbage and your recyclables all together. So beyond single stream, right? So it was just really cool to see all the technology, and fortunately or unfortunately, the technology exceeds the capacity of what it seems like the machinery that's in action, right? Like there's the capability of a machine to sort plastic bottles by color. Like if you wanted all the orange, like Tide bottles sorted, so they could go right back to Tide and be reused again. The capability is there for the machinery, but nobody's buying that because they just wouldn't get the quantity enough of orange alone to push that forward as a marketable commodity. So just neat stuff is out there. So, you know, hopefully, I think the machinery going to Connecticut next was in Berlin, we were told. There's a new recycling facility set to open, which will kind of handle the greater Hartford area. So we had a couple of other attendees from various different parts of town. We had someone from Waste Free Greenwich attend, from the West Hartford Recycles, Fairfield. Who else am I missing, Kevin? So it was just kind of neat to hear what other people are hoping to see and what they're seeing in their town as well. So
it was pretty interesting. And this place is like it's like a pilot plant type research facility. They do things on a small scale. They test various, you know, things for potential customers. And it's just amazing how stuff comes flying through there. And they have this electric eye that can just tell an air gun to shoot the stuff up and into a bin. And the stuff is coming at a mile a minute too. It's just really pretty impressive how this whole thing works. So
I guess the big takeaway is paper and cardboard is still pretty high in demand, right?
Yeah.
So keep recycling that if nothing else.
Right.
Did they happen to mention, and I know it's not our facility, so it doesn't really matter, but just curious, did they have things that they mentioned that there were their big, like we're getting a lot of plastic bags, you know, the jammers, the plastic tops that are off, or like what was there? I always mean to ask George, do we have that issue where if we were able to tell people these are the things that you're, you know, these are the really bad things that you're doing in our town? So do they have that at all?
They're trying to, they're re-engineering their system so they don't get as, you know, so those things are less problematic. Like one of the things was the bags wrap around the whatever the
little spinner thingies.
Spinner, right? Yeah. So there's something spinning. Well, if they make the thing bigger, then it's harder for it to tangle it up to get, you know, all wrapped up. So some things they're trying to change as far as the engineering goes on that. And then broken glass. I guess it's a little less of an issue. They're just trying to design so that the glass doesn't destroy the tear up the belts and so forth. So they're always trying to catch up and address problems with the systems. And it's just an ongoing battle, but I think it's good to see that they're addressing it anyway.
Trying to be smarter than dumb us.
The old systems are still going to be a problem, but the new ones are going to be better. So yes, that was good. Oh yeah, okay. So you talked about the Business Resource Center already. Let's see. Is that the Business Resource Center the same as the page on the website? Is that the same thing? Okay, got it.
Kevin, can I just very quickly mention something that I found in a local New Haven Biz newspaper? It says that a New York firm is to open a new medical waste facility in West Haven. So apparently there's going to be a new transfer station that's going to consolidate waste processing, including medical waste. And I don't know that this is necessarily good for us to know for any other reason, except maybe it might come up for us in the future.
Yeah.
I'm a person who has a diabetic cat, and I throw all my sharps in the trash. It goes in a special bin, but it's still trash going into the trash. So it would be great to have some sort of medical waste capability at some point.
Yeah, I wonder, I'm guessing they're gonna serve hospitals and, places like that, healthcare facilities. I wonder how much stuff from like individual households is gonna get there, because that's requires a whole separate, like
Yeah,
you're
it
saying,
does say-
packaging for medical.
It does say healthcare providers, but I do wonder if, if you have a doctor who's going to let you bring your waste in so they could bring it to the facility, because otherwise it's just into the stream. It's gross. It's a lot.
Oh, that's something to keep in mind. So did they say when that is going to be coming online? Sorry, I'm just making notes. All right. Anything else under the waste reduction category there? Anybody? That it? All right, so moving on to student involvement is next on the list. How are we doing with Trumbull Sustainable Youth and any other school initiatives that might be happening? Who wants to handle that one?
I'll just start by saying I don't have too much to update. So other than we submitted the Aquarian nomination for Wynn Haslam for all her social media efforts, I think most of you saw. And that's it. We closed out the legislative session, and the big one we pushed for, the Trumbull Sustainable Youth pushed for, was the styrofoam bill. It didn't pass this year, so it didn't go to vote actually. So we'll regroup on that. Yeah, I'm not sure what projects the students are planning for over the summer. I'm sure they would love to start working on the, reducing plastics and single-use items in schools and restaurants. So maybe they'll make some progress over the summer on that. But
Hey, Mari, do you think that they'd be interested in helping with the seed library?
yeah, possibly. I can throw it out there.
I was just thinking about, we talked about this a little bit in the meeting, because as Kevin knows, I always forget her name, that really talented young woman who did the Trumbull Soars as One mural.
Right.
Got the mural at Teaneck, and then there's one in the library. And I was wondering if it might be a fun thing to spread the word about the seed library by engaging the students to design their own artwork for the seed packets. And maybe, just so it got me thinking about just getting, if you get the kids involved and their parents become aware of it and get more involved too. So I wasn't sure if TSY would be interested.
Sure. And we can even see if they want to bring it to the environmental club at the high school, if any students in that group.
Yeah, good. All right, thanks.
Sure. Yeah,
Touch
send me
base
some
later.
info. Thank you. But really, April, do you want to add anything on the project you did at the school or about school initiatives? Or I could talk about those a little with the trays and the.
Sure. I don't know how the Wi-Fi is going to be. Yeah.
So far, so good.
See Mari's face. Okay. So there was a tree program that took place at Middlebrook with the help of Mel and Ryan Romeo from Fairfield. It went over really well. And it sounds like we are in the running to have it across all 6 elementary schools for next year. So it's super exciting.
What was the program?
Agreed to help, and Ryan is ready to go. We do have possibly one when Mari and I are meeting. Go ahead, Mari. It's a tree education program.
So that was you and Mel?
Somebody's gonna have to help. This is the Wi-Fi. I mean, I can't type or anything. There's no text. Yeah.
She organized a tree replacement program with a student from Fairfield, and I believe it was Bartlett Tree provided a free tree to every student in Middlebrook's 5th grade, right, April? If you can nod. Yeah, good. That was from memory. Yeah, it looked like it was really well received. I'll just add, April, that we talked about notifying the newspaper about that great program and the Trumbull High School winning the Trex plastic film collection this past school year. We thought that would be a nice push for all the school programs that kind of were successful for this past year. Mary, do you have the new contact at the newspaper? I do not have that. We thought that would be good.
Yeah, I can send you that.
Okay, because we do need some new students in Trumbull Sustainable Youth. We have a couple that seem to be aging out a little bit. We reached out to all the middle school students who were looking for involvement in the spring, but we'll probably have to hold a meeting at some point over the summer to see if we can like put a finite date to recruit new people. But we're also meeting with Betty Cinco this month, following up regarding getting rid of the styrofoam trays and what would be the next option. Hopefully reusables will be on the conversation table. Oh, and we're also talking about the food rescue program still to try to get that implemented as a one-time thing at the end of the school year, where they will come and just take anything that will get thrown away literally on the last day of school. So April and I are still trying to navigate the best way to get that started.
There's actually, Mari, one of the that's what I'd sent to Beryl, who had sent to Rena, and I'm probably going to check back with Dave Retigliano just as a start before going to like the restaurant group themselves. But it's an app and it's too good to go. So I don't know if that would be helpful or not, but I haven't investigated it yet, but it is something that was in the tri-state, and it's for like say bagel shops or sushi, or, I'm trying to think of things that would go, you can't keep for the next day.
Okay.
But items like that. So at the end of the day, and what they do is it's kind of a, they bag up what they have and instead say something costs $20. Well, then you get it for $8. You don't know what you're getting. You're picking it up at that half-hour window at the end of the day, but it's been successful supposedly. And they actually had like a pie place in New York that was talking about it, how it's helped him, to really kind of help through COVID, but also to get rid of things at the end rather than throwing them out. I'm sure a lot of places they do donate to places, but I know with COVID, that was also another issue. So my question was, are you really getting incremental, or are you getting people that are going to wait till the end of the day and they would have purchased a few hours earlier,
Right.
So that's what I want to check to see how popular that is. But that may be something, you never know that with Betty on a kind of a daily thing, there may be something with that app for families in need or whatever. So anyway, just kind of keep in the back of your mind, maybe is like for next year, that might be a possibility to kind of work that in, with that. But, whatever. I know we're going to eventually talk to Dave on the reusables and single use and everything. So, this might be a good piece as well.
That might be another program to broach the subject with.
All right, that sounds good. Moving on then to the outreach category. How did that community survey, was that done, the community survey?
Yep. Yeah, all the results that were compiled, and the Conservation Commission went over the initial, there's a very long presentation of all the responses we got and what people were engaged with. I'm not fully able to give you the complete breakdown because I don't have the report in front of me, and I think Mel would be better to do that.
All right.
But we had more people respond to this survey than what the town got for the pool survey. So it was a very good turnout. We were very excited to have more than 400, almost 500 people respond. Lots of passionate write-in answers about things that were important. Very high in the list were things like preserving the open space and the water quality in town. Lots of positive feedback about, trees and protecting the trees. And lots of people, very, very, like I said, passionate commentary where people wrote in about how they hated to see developments on Daniels Farm Road and how all that was just clear cut. So, more to come on that. There was a very quick write-up in the Trumbull Times, 2 weeks ago on the front page by the new writer, who I think has taken over Don Eng's mantle there. And more to come. I think Sarah and Mel are working up a more concise thing that can be presented to Vicky and the stakeholders in town hall.
Sounds-
Yeah, and on that, I
Good.
know Mel had sent to me, and I said, I just saw it a few minutes ago, but sent to me last night and was asking about, we had discussed about presenting to town council, so the same thing, the findings. And I guess Cindy, I was gonna send to Ashley, but that might be more on you as to what the agenda items are for June or July, when the appropriate time is, or if it's best to go to Parks and Rec first and then go to council as a presentation, you know, along with other items as well. So that's just something to think about.
So you're talking about a presentation on, tell me again?
The survey results
survey.
that just came out.
Okay,
So we can figure, you know, I'll talk to you about that. Mel wanted to check on that. And
yeah,
Um,
it's up to you whether you want to go to Parks and Rec first or
I would
whatever.
say we want to make sure that the people who responded know that we hear them. And it doesn't,
Yeah.
mean that we're going to
Yeah.
enact all the things that were commented on, but just that, because there was one comment on the survey that said, stop acting like you care. So, you know, that's tough to hear, right?
Hmm.
I think it's like the NRI, it's important that these go through. And I know the NRI kind of started, got stalled a little bit on that, but that, you know, I still think it was great when Sarah broke it out to see what can we do as a department, you know, as a town, the town departments, but also as volunteer or some of the groups that we have in town, and start addressing some of the recommendations. And the same thing with this survey. And then Mel's other thing, which kind of leads into that, she was asking about the 12,000 in the budget, and I'm sorry, I assume everybody's watching all these exciting meetings, but the 12,000 did get approved, so that money is in there, so we can start to get moving on that and implementing that program for bringing more trees back into Trumbull.
Farmers market, how is that going there, volunteers?
I wrote to the farmers market people, and the only way they really communicate is through Facebook Messenger.
Uh-oh.
So I gave them 4 dates in the summer that Mari, April, Mary, even whoever wrote back to me said that they might be available. And if we decide to take 3 of the dates and there's one date that we can't make because it's too close to the other one, I can always take it for Connecticut Master Gardener and use it as volunteer hours, and then they'll send a real Master Gardener. I'm just a trainee, but they would send me someone else. So we don't need to take all 4 dates that I put forth, but I did ask for 4 dates for them, and I'm waiting to hear back on which ones they're going to give us.
All right.
As
Yeah.
Kevin's typing, can I ask, since we brought up dates, which reminds me, the rain barrel distribution is on the 14th, whatever next Saturday is. And I have something, but it's not until later in the day. So I didn't know if we did want to try to get a table there to put up a few, you know, some information out about sustainable, you know, for some of the resources that we offer, the recycling drives, the Saturday drives, things like that, treks, Bay State, a couple things like that. So I'm certainly willing to go hang out. I think it's 10 to 1. And I'll have to check that. But when I looked, I asked them, maybe it's 3 weeks ago, because somebody was inquiring, and we had 150 rain barrels being distributed from the Trumbull Town Hall back then. So it's a fair amount. So I thought that might be, you know, might be nice if we have a little bit of a presence there. It has nothing, it's not going through the town at all. So this would just be kind of us as an aside. So if anybody has any interest, you know, let me know.
Yeah, I'm probably not available Saturday because I'm teaching.
Oh, good for you.
It is the same day as the recycling drive.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I do remember that going out.
So we'd have to juggle coverage. But maybe we could do the rain barrel if there's enough people at recycling drive. We can start a group email, Mary, maybe, with the
Okay.
people that are doing that, and see who wants to do what.
Yeah, we were supposed to do the walk for wishes is that morning. There was something else. There was like various things, and then we have an event, but it's not starting till 2. So, you know, I could
Okay.
certainly, you know, go hang out at the town hall and just bring certain things, maybe, you know, the QR code, to use that on the acetate standing up, whatever, some information. So yeah, we can plan around that.
All right. It's a perfect segue because the next item on the agenda is the QR code update. So, Richard, could you give me something that I can type in here and succinctly summarize what's happening with the QR codes at the various locations?
And just to kind of reiterate, the phase one of the beta was completed with Sarah's survey. And so phase two, which is to put 3 signs at Old Mine, Parlor Rock, and Transfer Station. John's working on those. And as soon as he has those done, then I'll put those up. I can give you, this is the format we talked about last time. Let me just quickly share one example. Okay, I assume you can see that.
Hold on, I'm typing, so I can't say anything. Hold on a second.
So this is,
Oh, yeah, there you go.
so you guys can see it. So this is the format. This is one for the transfer station, and the QR link takes you to the website that some of you help work on. So this is the website that talks about transfer, recycling, and so on, with a link to the transfer station's website. I thought that was a better way to go, because that's where we have, the non-official recycling and reuse place for people to put things. And there's a meeting tonight with Parks. I'm going to update them on the same thing I'm talking about now. Hopefully, Dimitri will have some trail maps done in the near future, which we can add to QR codes. And then on Wednesday, I've got a meeting with Historical Society Board to recommend a QR sign for Parks. And give an example of that one real quickly.
So here's a question for you, Richard. I just put the QR, I just took a picture with my phone, and it takes me to the page, and it says, and it's the reduce, reuse, recycle page of everything. It doesn't list it lists transfer station recycling center, but it doesn't say what you can bring to the transfer station. Is that something that would be
No, actually, it takes you
get
there,
in there?
Kevin. It actually takes you, if you look on, scroll up, there's a link to the transfer station website. And so all the QR does is take you to.
Oh, wait, you're right. I didn't see that.
And then from there, whatever link is hot, you can click on those. And I thought the transfer,
There it
ideally,
is.
I think there'd be one URL for everything. But I think it's
Yeah.
more useful to have the reuse and recycle things listed, and they can still get to the transfer station.
I didn't realize I could click on that particular link there. So that, yep, everything's there then. This has like every single thing, glass, scrap metal, single stream, the whole deal. So that's great.
Yeah, and I think, as we add, different things up there, then the link will still work.
Yeah,
No,
this is nice.
I've talked to George indirectly, and he and Dimitri are kind of hard to get a hold of. He also wanted a second sign by the scale, and I gave him a suggestion, but no feedback. So I'm going to put up the sign, the one sign on the gate fence, and then maybe that'll, still some interest. But historical, let's see, do you see the historical one up there?
Yep, hold on a sec. Let me take a picture of that one too.
Yeah, any of you want to scan them with your phone, feel free. Now, this particular link takes you to their main website, which has text, audio recordings, and one video, as a demonstration. Now, they haven't, this is the one I mocked up to talk to them on Wednesday. And they seem interested, but it's just a matter of, yes, you have permission to do this. And also on some of the artifacts, you can simply put any kind of a, printed, QR. It doesn't have to be fancy. These other signs are going to be done by John by his sign business. And I'm trying not to inundate him So he starts to feel like he's, losing mass, cash flow by making all these free signs. And he did a lot of signs, for the survey.
Yeah.
Richard,
So you've
where's
got-
this? Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
can I say one thing? Richard, where was that one going? Because I know we did discuss not putting it out directly on the street. Because there are places to, put it where you don't have to make an actual sign and you might be able to just make, a label per se, a water resistant label where we're not having to go into the sign category and, go through John.
Yeah, I think John was gonna make a similar size sign to what he did before that will hang on the gate. Now, when the gate is open, it's the gate as you drive in on the right side. So as you drive in out of traffic, if you see it, you can look at it, but the station's closed. There is that pullover area out, beyond traffic where they can, if you get there late, you can go there, scan it and say, oh yeah, that's when they're open. Or, I have cloth that I want to, oh, I didn't know I could recycle cloth. So, so they may see that.
Right. Yeah, that's good. So Richard, did you say Parlor Rock, Old Mine Park, and the transfer station is where you've got these QR codes at this point?
Yes, and just a matter of John making them. I mean, it takes, 5 minutes each one to put up.
Uh-huh.
So it's not a big deal. The old mine will be a stick-on like we did last time, and it'll stick right to the bottom left of the front facing of the three-sided kiosk. So
Okay.
when I removed the other one, it didn't destroy the sign or anything.
All right. So you're working with Parks and Rec Commission on this?
Yes, so
to-
I'm just gonna basically tell them what I'm gonna do, tell them the same thing I just mentioned here.
Okay.
One thought, when you guys were talking about the, the garden, the farmer's market and so on, if there's any place that we want to hand out literature or even just have a piece of paper with a QR where they can get information, that's one thing that would be easy to do. So if you want, I can generate QR codes, for no cost to anybody. All I would need from you guys is what bullets, you would like me to put on the sign, and then what the web address is.
I know they had a bunch of QR codes last time at the at the high school there. So we're definitely putting them to use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done that at
that's-
the farmer's market. We do it, the recycle thing. So we've employed the QRs before.
That was my
Yeah.
question, guys. Do we want to, is it, if we're using these upgraded QRs, or I don't know if they're going to eventually be those upgraded ones that we pay for, could there be like a PDF of each of these that we could print up and put in our plastic tabletop thing? So we're kind of all using the same QR code. I mean, we have a QR for every town webpage that we've redone already, like Pam's saying. But if there's a preferred QR code, could we have access to that? I mean, I feel like it shouldn't be like we have to call you, Richard, to call John to print up a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper to put in a tabletop thing, right? It could just be a PDF on the drive that we could print up and use when we needed it, right?
It would be. Now, what I do is, the QR code is the thing that I generate. So I've been using QR Monkey. It's really handy to use. You can insert the town logo easily. It literally takes 30 seconds. If you know the web address, you put that in. And if you have a logo, you just simply browse to the file is, and 20 seconds. So you're not stuck on that. I can certainly do that. Now I use PowerPoint because, and I can put a PowerPoint, up there. But what I do is I have the format, the general format for the QR signs, which is not, we can use whatever format we want. And then I just change type in different bullets, and then the QR code, which is the file, I just simply paste that onto the PowerPoint and just drag a corner, and resize it. So it's actually very simple. You don't need me to do that. I'm very happy to do that, but you don't need, any one person to be a bottleneck in doing that. But just having a PDF wouldn't really work because it's hard to edit the QR off the old, PDF. So I find PowerPoint is one, really quick way to do all this. But I can certainly put, I'll put the PowerPoint file up there.
Does that answer your question, Mario? Is that what you're?
Yes, thank you. Oh, I lower my hand. Here we go.
All
I mean,
right,
do you guys have
good.
PowerPoint?
Sure. I part of the Microsoft package.
Yeah. And actually Google has, that one I haven't used, but that might also work as well.
All right, thanks, Richard.
That's pretty much on QRs.
Good, thank you very much. The last item I have on the agenda is getting back to 501c3 fundraising. And Janet is continuing to try to find a way to fund some sustainable projects in Trumbull by way of a 501c3 through of the New York Community Trust by way of a 501c3. So Janet, I've seen your emails and trying to work something through Sustainable CT, and that's becoming somewhat challenging too, because it has to be, I guess, it can't be a local thing. Sustainable CT only does, I think you said, statewide initiatives, right? So you want to give us an update on where everything is there, Janet?
Yeah, well, hang on.
You just muted yourself.
Yeah, okay.
You
There we
did
go.
it the other way.
Double click. Okay. Yeah, so I met with Joseph Dickerson and Lynn Stoddard, who's the director of the Sustainable CT. It's really not going to be viable to channel money through them. They can only get money directly. However, Joseph said that he'd be happy to meet with a representative of Sustainable Trumbull to talk about finding another fiduciary sponsor. That can't be through me. That has to either be Kevin or somebody else who might be interested in doing that. I don't have to go through the details of how they operate, but we ruled out that, me using them as an option. And then I was just, Joseph did say, some other organization might be willing to act as the fiduciary, as the umbrella. And I don't know what kind of contacts you have or your family members have. Rotary is a 501c3. It cannot be a private foundation. Trumbull Mary connected me with someone who has a private foundation. New York Community Trust does not work with private foundations. I've had that problem before. So it would have to be something like Rotary or any other at all. It doesn't have to even be in Connecticut, as long as we have, a cooperative partner. And that's where I don't necessarily know where to go. I know somebody who knows somebody at Rotary, but I don't know if any of you do. And any other ideas. Basically you got to spread the network, and Joseph is also there to help, because I imagine he's got more experience certainly than I have, for sure. So his door is open.
So he said they might be able to help find a 501c3, but they themselves can't be.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
yeah.
they cannot. They can take money for themselves.
Right.
Unlike other organizations, they can't take money if I say I want it to go here, there, or anywhere else. They can't do that.
Right. They can't be.
Janet,
Yeah.
Janet, do you want me to connect you with somebody through Rotary so you can see if that is something? Okay, I'll send you an email after and see if we can. Well, we'll just keep trying. This will be like and then next year.
Yeah. Who knew it was so difficult?
I don't know. Well, it's got to be a non-private
Right.
foundation, 501c3 foundation,
Right. Yeah. United, you mentioned United Way once.
Yeah, I've tried them.
Yeah, the New York Community Trust wasn't so thrilled.
Oh, okay,
I don't know why. They didn't tell me why.
okay.
I don't know what issues they have, but.
It was, I didn't get very far myself anyway, so I
uh-huh,
guess it's a bit of a moot point, but that's interesting that they
Right,
did go with that.
yeah.
All right.
I just had a quick, got an email from John. Those 3 signs, Old Mine Parlor Rec Transfer, will be done next week. And then he also, know, Mayor, you had inquired about what it costs to, have somebody like him make these. So I got some costs, which I can, forward to you, if you'd like.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
In terms of networking, I don't know if you know people who know people who know people in the not-for-profit world. It could be anywhere, anyone. And if you do, or your spouses or your siblings, or your parents, or anybody, bear it in mind.
All right, well, thanks again, Janet, for your persistence here and patience as we slog forward.
Okay.
All right. That's all I have on the agenda. I throw it open to any other business or discussions we want to talk about. Anybody have anything? No, all good. Oh, that's going to be a quick meeting. Oh yeah, Mel was supposed to come in at 4, but we'll be done by 4.
Quick run,
So,
run. No.
Yeah, unless we can kill time. And I'm not sure she'll get here anyway. But. All right, everybody. Well, thanks very much. Good to see you. And I'll get some minutes out to you soon and something put together for George, for a meeting with George.
Let me know if I can help you, Kevin.
All right.
Good luck
Thank you,
with
Pam.
everything, Kevin.
Good. Thank you very much. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.